Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations, where we're stumbling through this case. As we're trying to prove, of course, that this picture was taken days before the murder took place. However, getting there, looking through all the evidence, wondering what on earth we're doing to find the correct path. Took some time, took some doing, but at least we've refreshed our memory on what we've exactly got here. Well, that said, let's move on and see where this path keeps taking us. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. So on the day of the crime, Mr. Atmey must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. They might get my tail! Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atmey had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. Why, indeed! Take that. Order! Mr. Admy, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. Objection! It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lawley Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Why couldn't I present this as a point of logic earlier on? I had no evidence to support this, but this is exactly what I was going for. Nah! Remember, you have to play the game the way the game wants you to, not with a brain. Order, Mr. Godot! What is the meaning of this? Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. My 11th cup. I promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial. He could just drink slower. Which means I'm still good till the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match? That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied. Which is? Number 12. Which blend? I do not know. There is only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way! Don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions as Master Damask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. The plan is revealed. I first received the request from Lawley Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in the box and Zvali! It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. This one's a lot easier. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM on October 12th. That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Pretty much. Yeah, we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zvali. Very well then, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. But I think we've got ourselves our point. So with the fact that it's information we've all heard before... I first received the request from Lawley Taylor about 20 days ago. Well, yeah, sure. And then you sent the thing. But it's this. I was unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. But whoever sent the calling card knew it was speckled. Which happened like 2 weeks prior to the actual crime. So could you have sent the card? And then can you be Master Mask? This is what I'm going for, isn't it? Objection!
Objection!
Indeed. Mr. Atmey, if you really are Master Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? You know we're on the right track. But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn.
Yes, that is true. But so what?
Truth be told, there is no way that Master Mask could have known about this pattern.
What do you mean?
This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains.
Paint stains?
And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor.
It's 13. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite.
The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn.
You can't be serious.
And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atmey had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Quack, 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 quack. It sounds like he's me when I have something happen to me in a game.
Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose.
Huh?
That's 14, right?
Ha! It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? That's what I'm trying to go towards, getting a conviction. Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Master Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point.
No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor.
You say that Luke Atmey was the one who killed Cain Bullard? And let me ask you this. Why would he do that?
An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive? Might you my merely murderous motive manifest? Nick, he's getting his second wind. That's a tongue twister I handled, no problem.
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective?
Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear.
Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were.
I'd be honored to, Sir Oldtimer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Right, the motive for murder. I, Luke Atmey, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Cain Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Cain Bullard. Truly a tragedy.
So the victim, Cain Bullard, blackmailed the defendant? This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter.
What? Well, that's not a problem, sure.
Very well, Mr. Light, begin your cross-examination.
So that's been updated. What's been updated on it? Alright, we'll start off the testimony. We'll press present so we can at least have a look-see. So it's written by Bullard now, it's just it. The thing is that I already know what we're looking for here anyway. It's the sentence we've seen the whole time. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond, look at the hand, you received the other day instead. This wasn't meant for Rhonda Light. It was meant for Luke Atmey. But how do we prove this factoid? What are we presenting to? I mean, after all, if we look at the Kane's list here, there was never anything stolen, was there? There was a red diamond. Actually, I guess the Tear of Emanon could be. What other information do we have on this? That's about the first heist, which is a blue gem. So that's not the red diamond. See, it's all there. It's all there for us. We just have to look for it. But now we've got to find where we're presenting to and what we're presenting exactly. It's one of those three things anyway.
Hold it!
And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. After doing a thorough background check of Detective Admy and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. Mistook? That's right, mistook, from the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take in error. That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake Master Mask to be? Why, the answer is obvious. Ron Delight, of course. Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. Do we press harder or not? It never hurts. At the moment, anyway. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask? Don't you already know that? Zvali, take a look at this newspaper. It's trying to get me to look at things now. Oh ho, that's the famous Tear of Emanon, a magnificent jewel. That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant. The defendant? The victim clearly misread this article in Zvali. He got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Master Mask. I see. That was an unusually reasonable deduction. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. You mean this blackmail letter right here? It says bring $50,000. And the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's? There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere. That's the point. An addressee? This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment. And Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. Yes, but we know someone who knew it was there. Who knew the hideout and probably even placed it there. Told us to go look for it. Come on. But then he's an investigator. I wonder. What's up, Nick? I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight? Whoa, do you have any evidence of that? For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? I'm presenting to that statement, yeah?
Hold it!
Keep pressing for now. What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Zvali! It's about the sacking now, isn't it? KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies, and since I was security team chief, I stole data from the company. Kane Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. Here is the file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't this a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually Master Mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. Probably told him then. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. No, I don't see why. Oh no, wait again. I don't want to keep going. So you're going to try to connect Detective Atmey to Mr. Bullard, right? Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either. In that case, we'll have to talk about the blackmail. That's true. Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron? Since we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony. Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way. I don't think we will. I think we are presenting to this. I think we're presenting the blackmail letter itself to try and bring up the line about the red diamond.
Objection!
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atmey? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction.
Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You want to talk? At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter.
But it is that itself. But it can't be presenting that again, can it? It's the red diamond, I know that. But am I maybe presenting the newspaper clipping because it's got the blue diamond on it? The blue gem, Tear of Emanon? I mean, you never took that. I think it might be the newspaper clipping then, but it might be the blackmail thing as well. We can take the hits.
Take that!
Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel.
What about it?
The problem is this jewel's colour.
Colour? I'm not much for discussing colour myself.
According to the clipping, the colour of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day.
Red?
Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that Master Mask stole at all.
Objection!
And your point is, Mr. Trite? So you are trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes, we got there. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. Definitely Luke Atmey.
Take that!
Naturally, it was you, Detective Atmey. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen. And received a jewel as your reward.
A jewel?
Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. Has the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Nah!
Order in the court. Order, I say.
Objection!
It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite.
Uh-oh, I don't like the way he said that.
Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke Atmey? Are you for real?
Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmey's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity?
Atmey killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? The blackmailer of Master Mask, I guess? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atmey wanted to so desperately keep secret was his identity was an ace detective, Master Mask, a blackmailer. This is the question in and of itself. But, at this cliffhanger point, with almost a half of my health about to go, I'll leave it for this episode. I'm thinking of choosing a blackmailer here because he basically blackmailed. If we look at Ron's testimony, he was forcing, well, like giving the instructions to blackmail. Yeah, you know what I mean. He's giving the instructions to Ron Delight. So a blackmailer he could be, and then a blackmailer got blackmailed. But for now, we leave it for this episode. Join me next time, as hopefully we pick the right option. Bye-bye.